Hello students, let's start next chapter of history, chapter 11. Buildings, paintings and books. In this chapter we'll study about the buildings made in past, paintings and books. Here you can read Barutasami and the Iron Pillar. Here this boy visited Iron Pillar situated at Mehroli in Delhi, and before starting the discussion about Iron Pillar we should know what is metallurgy. Ancient Indian metallurgists made major contributions to metallurgical history of the world, in which we know about metals. Archaeological excavation have shown that Harappan were master craftsmen and had knowledge of copper metallurgy, because you know that they manufactured bronze by mixing copper and tin. So mixing copper and tin they manufactured bronze. While the Harappans belong to Bronze Age, their successors belong to the Iron Age. India produced highly advanced types of iron: forged iron, wrought iron and cast iron. So these are different types of iron. Now this is about Iron Pillar. The Iron Pillar at Mehroli, Delhi, it is situated in Delhi, is a remarkable example of the skill of Indian craftspersons. It is made up of iron. So this Iron Pillar is completely made up of iron, 7.2 meter high and weighs over 3 tons. So what is the weight of this Iron Pillar? 3 tons. It was made about 1500 years ago, and we know the date because there is an inscription on the pillar mentioning a ruler named Chandra who made this Iron Pillar, probably belonged to the Gupta dynasty. What is amazing is the fact that the pillar has not rusted in all these years. Still it is like fresh iron. Buildings in brick and stone. Now this was about Iron Pillar, and the things were made up of iron or other metals. Now buildings made up of bricks and stones. The skills of our craftspersons also apparent in the buildings that have survived, such as stupas. What is stupa? Means a mound. While there are several kinds of stupas, round and tall, big and small, these have certain common features. So what are the features of stupa? Sometimes it is round, sometimes it is tall, sometimes big and small. Generally there is a small box placed at the center or heart of the stupa. This is the main feature of all the stupas. This may contain bodily remains such as teeth, bone or ashes of the Buddha or his followers, or things they used, whatever they used, the things, as well as precious stones and coins are there in this box. And this box is known as relic casket. It is known as relic casket, this box. It was covered with earth. Later a layer of mud brick or baked brick was added on top, and then the dome like structure was sometimes covered with carved stone slabs. You can see in this picture here. Often a path known as the Pradakshina Patha was laid around the stupa. This was surrounded with railings. Entrance to the path was through gateways. Devotees walked around the stupa in a clockwise direction. So this path especially it was made for walking as a mark of devotion. Both railings and gateways were often decorated with sculpture. You can see in this picture here. It is decorated with the sculptures like this, right? So you can find Amravati on the map. This was a place where a magnificent stupa once existed. Many of the stone carvings for decorating the stupa were made up about 2000 years ago. Other buildings were hollowed out of rock to make artificial caves. So some buildings were like artificial caves. Some of these were very elaborately decorated with sculptures and painted walls. Some of the earliest Hindu temples were also built at this time. Deities such as Vishnu, Shiva, Durga were worshipped in these shrines. The most important part of the temple was the room known as the Garbhagriha. It was the most important part of the temple where the image of chief deity was placed. It was here that priests performed religious rituals and devotees offered worship to the deity. Here, this is the great stupa at Sanchi, Madhya Pradesh. You can see stupas like this one were built over several centuries, while the brick mound probably dates to the time of Ashoka. The railings and gateways were added during the time of later rulers. In the left, sculpture from Amravati, this one you can see. Now, these images, this image, an early temple at Bhitargaon in UP, and this image you can see monolithic temples at Mahabalipuram. So the temple at Bhitargaon was built about 1500 years ago and was made of baked brick and stone. Monolithic temples at Mahabalipuram, each of these was carved out of a huge single piece of stone. That's why they are known as monolithic. This one, single piece of stone. It is made up of single piece of stone. So this is called monolithic. And this one here, you can see in this image, this is the Durga temple at Aihole, built about 1400 years ago. Now, how were stupas and temples built? There were several stages in building a stupa or a temple. Usually kings or queens decided to build these as it was an expensive affair. So only rich people, higher class people and kings and queens used to decide. First, good quality stone had to be found and quarried and transported to the place that was often carefully chosen for the new building. Here, these rough blocks of stone had to be shaped and carved into pillars and panels for walls, floors and ceilings, and then these had to be placed in precisely the right position. You can see here this one, Jaina monastery from Odisha. This two-story building you can see in this picture was carved out of the rock surface. Notice the entrance to the rooms. Jaina monks lived and meditated in these rooms. Kings and queens probably spent money from their treasury to pay the craftspersons who worked to build these splendid structures. Besides, when devotees came to visit the temple or the stupa, they often brought gifts. To those devotees who used to come to see and to visit these places, they used to bring gifts and which were used to decorate the buildings. For example, an association of ivory workers paid for one of the beautiful gateways at Sanchi. You can see in this image. Among the others who paid for decorations were merchants, farmers, garland makers, perfumers, smiths, and hundreds of men and women who are known only by their names, which were inscribed on pillars, railings, and walls. So when you get a chance to visit any of these buildings, remember how several hundreds of people probably worked to construct and decorate them. So dear students, in this way the buildings were made especially by the kings and queens with the help of hundreds of people who were engaged in different kinds of activities to make the buildings. So in the next video we'll discuss about painting. Thank you. Have a nice day.